What's up, Twitch, and welcome to your new favorite news report. I am Jameson Helfrich, and I am co-founder of the Legacy League. And with me today is my wonderful long-time friend,
Long
Jordan
term.
Barrenhouse. Jordan, how's it going?
It's going good, man. I'm excited to be talking about Legacy again. And me and you, we go way back. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that we're called Legacy old heads at this
Uh-huh.
point, considering I met you probably over 15 years ago, and you kind of introduced me to Legacy and started playing around the stores, and before you know it,
It was
here we
long
are.
enough ago that I think your memory is wrong about how we met. I'm pretty sure I met you at a Legacy event, so I can't have introduced you to the format.
No, no, no. I don't mean like introduced it to me. Like I didn't know about Legacy, but you helped introduce me to the scene.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was right around the time I was coming back to Maryland after
Mhm.
having uh, been in the Navy for a couple of years. So I was kind of reintegrating with the scene. It was good times. So yeah, we've been playing Legacy for a long time, and so
Long time.
that's what Legacy League is here to celebrate the community that we've been a part of for a long time. We know a lot of the people in the league. Have played a lot of games of Legacy against them over the years. So to recap what we're here today, what we're here to do today is we're here to talk about what has happened in roughly the last 2 weeks of Legacy, uh, both in the DMV Legacy League as well as in Legacy in general. We obviously have a lot more hard data about online metagames, but we're going to talk about how that is reflected in the local metagame and more realistically, how the local metagame is reflected in the online metagame. Because as we'll get to, a lot of legacy local players are going to make it in the top metagame. But um, before we get into that, first we're going to talk a little bit about the changes that have come about in Legacy and in Magic the Gathering in general
What
since
changes?
you and I have uh, uh, originally met and became friends. So we
No, no,
have
no. It's the exact same game. The exact same game. I can definitely still play Burn to top eights.
for sure,
Absolutely,
yes,
for
yep,
sure. Same
yeah,
game.
yes, for sure, yeah. You can roll it. I mean, you might. I don't know. Not in this area though.
No.
I bet you could top eight a legacy event in, you know, Ocracoke or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, probably.
Uh, so before we get into any of discussing the metagame stuff, we're going to talk about the some of the new cards that have been coming out. That some of them are being seen in play. Some of them are being seen in decks that are coming out in recent events. And so we're going to talk about the fact that Jordan doesn't know these new cards.
How many sets a year are we at, my guy? How many? How many
That's a
cards are
great
we?
question.
How
I
many
don't know.
original cards are we printing a year? It's like 1.5K, right? At
Yeah,
least
I think it's something like
has to
half of
be.
all unique
And
Magic cards have been
and
printed
they're
in the
all
last
like
2 or 3 years.
and they're all
Yeah,
like 12 lines of text.
right. Yeah.
Uh, if I want to read a book, I have a full library next to me. I'll pick up a book and read one. So yeah, no, I don't know a lot of these cards. And I was watching some gameplay in the Discord, and oh boy, were there a lot of cards coming up to where I'm like, I don't know that, but I'm not going to look right now, so we can save it for the bit. So there's some stuff in here that I know I don't know. There's some stuff that I might know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so you found out recently that we now have skateboards in Magic. So
Yeah, yeah.
you want to tell us the
Um,
story about how you found out about skateboard being a real card?
yeah. So after after a hike, sitting around the table, and our friend Dan, who Silent Goat does well online,
Uh-huh.
said, "So Jordan, what do you think about skateboard?" My response was, "What's skateboard?" and so he took out his copy, handed it to me, and he's like, "Here, I have an extra." And so I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's much better." Sleeve that up, put that in, threw the other one in the garbage. I don't even remember what the name of that one anymore. I tossed out the name out of my brain with the card. It had ward. This one has haste. Well, they both
Yeah,
had haste, but
they
this one
both have
this
haste.
one taps something, which
Yes.
uh removing a blocker from an equipment you are getting in an aggressive strategy deck for free.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
especially when you're usually suiting that up on a construct token, which it has no evasion natively, so you're
And
talking and it's
Pyroglyph.
usually
Pyroglyph do
pretty
good too.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one too. So yeah, you're
Mhm.
gonna swinging in for 6 or 7 damage on this creature, and uh, but it can be blocked by anything unless that thing is tapped down. So yeah,
Yeah.
skateboard's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, you're gonna make it big enough where they don't even want to block. Where well, they can't block. Generally, like they're not blocking your constructs, um, unless
Mhm.
they're chump blocking, and this will remove the chump blocker, so they're gonna have to pay for it, right? Like if they're
Right.
blocking, you can give them the option of you're taking the damage, you're paying for it with a creature, a real creature, not a chump blocker. So
Yeah, really. I mean, it's relatively marginal upgrade, but I think it's a pretty great upgrade. I immediately saw it. I was like, that's a substantial. It seems like a substantial upgrade over Lavasaur boots to me.
yeah,
Um,
I've heard the spiciness of playing it in a combo deck. So you fetch it off Urza Saga, tap down Trinisphere, combo
okay.
off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd work.
That was ran by me by a certain Paul Lynch. I said,
Okay.
"All right, dude."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
certainly a thing you could do. That's definitely a
Look, if you
niche
already
use
have the
for it, but
LED,
sure. Yeah.
all
I
right.
mean, so
What's next? I don't know what's
uh,
next.
So the producers in the backside here have a wonderful list. Instead of showing Jordan what is on screen, because he can see what everyone can see, uh,
okay.
we have a list that's in order, and I imagine Jameson will know what most of these do, and Jordan, well, he might not even be sure they're real Magic cards.
Not
Yeah.
not just what they do, but also what kinds of decks that they'll be seeing play in.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I might not believe some of these are real Magic cards. I'll be
Yeah.
real.
I mean, would you have believed skateboard?
No.
I do like that you had the presence of mind to realize that Dan was not asking you about like skateboards.
Oh,
And
I
you
could
go
not
like,
imagine.
yeah, man. I
I could
mean,
not
they're cool, I
imagine
guess.
Dan comfortably riding a skateboard in his life. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's a huge skater, and I don't know.
Alrighty. So the next card up is Sewer Valence Cam.
Oh, I actually
Ooh.
know this one. I
Okay.
actually know this one because this one's busted, and it's. I know this one because it's busted. It's a single blue mana. It's an artifact. That's why I know it. And yeah, you tap something or untap something, which obviously, whenever you have an artifact that taps and untaps something, that's busted.
Yeah.
When it does it on ETB, Welder says hello.
And not just ETB, also LTB.
Yeah.
Also
Also,
when it
oh
leaves the
right.
battlefield.
Also leaving because
Yeah.
why not?
That's the
Why
really
not?
insane thing because it untaps the welder on the way in and the way
Oh,
out.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm closing my
We're
eyes.
good.
Nope, I clicked a button. Didn't mean to click a button.
You
They
clicked the
skipped ahead
button.
a little bit.
I'll guarantee you, I don't think any of those are real cards. Yeah. So this one, and it also sacks for value. I don't think you're
Yeah.
doing that too much, but I could be wrong. I know this is played in Painter. I don't know what else it's being played in though.
Yeah, I think mostly, well, it's being played with Goblin Welder. I do think that there has been some work along the lines of removing the painter combo
Sure.
because the
Sorry,
surveillance cam
Painter.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I should say
Um,
Welder deck.
yeah, it's a little bit in flux because this is such a powerful way to combo out with Welder that you can kind of win with almost anything. Um, so anything that can like draw cards can draw you to whatever other combo you might have in your deck, and even just like manual grindstone. You know, you have enough. You can do that actually.
Yeah.
Should be in
So
order.
Is
it's a
this going
pretty
reverse
interesting
alphabet?
card, and I think that's we're going to continue to see the way that it affects the way that the welder combo decks combo out and are built because you know if you painter's a pretty terrible card unless you are specifically like ready to combo out. I mean it can turn on like it turns on red blasts and all that stuff, but it's sort of it needs a lot of support around it for it to be good. Otherwise, it's just sort of like a little dork. And surveillance cam seems to be a little bit more I don't know, I guess a little bit more utility outside of just comboing out, and
I mean,
allows you to kind
it's
of
also
streamline the deck.
you also have to remember it's a single mana.
Right.
Like
Which is relevant because even though
you.
you can't get it with Urza Saga because Urza Saga says
Mhm,
specifically 0 or 1, you
mhm.
can get it with the Tezzeret that they
You
printed
can
with
whir
the Edge
for
of
it too.
Eternities.
I don't know if people are whirring
Yeah.
for it, but um, the it's also it increases your artifact count, which is
Uh huh.
huge. It
And blue
turns
count.
on, yeah. And in the day you're playing, if you have this card in your deck, you're playing Urza Saga, right? Like I can't see a world where you're playing this card and not Urza Saga. So any card that stays on the battlefield that can generate value later is just a plus side. And this can both, I mean, I could even see this. I imagine, actually, now that I think about it, is Blue Artifacts playing this as well? Because you could definitely like play this and tap down a blocker and get in, and then sack it later. I could definitely see that being the thing. You might have better cards to play and better things to do,
Well,
but
it can untap Emery, which sort of does the welder job, right? So it might. Yeah, I think that's been
true.
some of the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it definitely has some interesting applications. I think it's complex enough that we haven't seen the full impact of it yet. It's not just something you could just like skateboards. Like okay, you just swap out
Yeah,
lava
yeah,
sword boots, and
it's
then we
pretty
have
clear what it
skateboard,
does.
right? It's like a marginal improvement. But this one is like, yeah, we have to build around this. We got to figure out what this thing's got to offer. And I
Yeah,
don't
or it's
think
just
we've
not
seen the
even a build
full.
around, and it's just a 1 or 2 card in
Could
your
be,
deck.
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know if it's like a voltaic key type. It reminds me of voltaic key, right? Like that's the first thing that comes to
sure,
mind is the same applications, except this says target creature, not target artifact,
right,
which um you're playing a lot more creatures than artifacts.
hmm
So
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely an interesting card. I think we're only seeing the beginning, like you said.
All right. So what else we got here, producers? What's next on the list?
All right, next up we got Raph and Mikey Troublemakers.
Okay, I know this one's real. And I know it's played in Sneak Attack because the reason I know this one is because I was watching
You're watching me.
Decent playing stream, and the card came up, and I'm like, I don't know that one. I'm gonna turn off the stream now so we can save it. So I don't know what it does. I know it's a big dumb idiot though that you Sneak Attack in.
The cat finally
So
got off my lap.
assumedly it has some ETB.
Okay.
Now we get to guess, right?
Yeah.
So it has some ETB. It's Raph and Mikey.
Yep.
All right. So it's gonna get a land and exile a card from the top, and you can cast it for free until you hit. It's gonna exile cards from the top until you hit a non-land permanent and cast it for free. Is what I'm
Okay.
guessing. It
Okay,
probably has
you're
more.
You're
It probably has more
really
text.
close.
You're shockingly close.
Like
No,
way
right,
closer
right?
than I would expected.
you're shockingly close.
It's a red-green card. All they do is impulse now.
Right.
Hugs.
So
all
uh,
they do is impulse. Yeah. Anyway.
so producers, shall we bring the card up?
Yeah. Let's bring
Yeah,
the
we're
card
gonna
up.
bring it
That's-
up. He
how
got
close
close
am I?
enough.
Oh, it's on attack, not ETB. Damn. Okay. All right.
Yeah, but it does exile
Creature
cards until
card.
you hit a creature card, which is important for Sneak and Show because you're
Yeah.
gonna hit a
and
big
then,
fatty,
wow. And then you just put it on.
and then you
tap
put it into
Tapped and
play
attacking.
Yeah.
Right, and then since you're sneaking attacking it in, oh, it has haste. Never mind. Who cares?
Right. Yeah.
Why make you
Who
work
cares?
for anything? Why make you work for anything in Magic the
Right.
Gathering anymore?
Yeah.
Right? Just give it haste. Who cares? Well, I mean, to be fair, it is a 7-mana 7/7.
It is
Not like that
7/7,
matters, but
yeah.
it could be
Yeah.
a 12-mana 7/7. It doesn't.
They don't
matter,
design
but-
for our format. They design for Commander, and they're like, okay, in Commander, like, yeah, you might be
Yeah.
able to sneak attack, but whatever.
No, this is a
but
pretty. This is a
I mean,
pretty
this
cool
is
card.
a-
for
top in
Commander.
It's a pretty
100.
sick commander card.
I'm like,
yeah.
this is my dirty secret. Ready? I'll announce it here in front of the world. I am
Okay.
now more of an EDH player than a Legacy player
Hey, nothing wrong with
by volume.
By
that.
volume.
My hot take. We're both gonna
Yeah.
be sprung up because
Yeah, no, Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. If you were a fan of me before, I understand if you can't be anymore. But yeah.
for
So
all three of you that were fans of Jordan before this.
exactly.
Yeah,
All
so
three.
all
We're down
three
to
of
two
us?
now. We're down to two now. But so some of these cards I might know, not from Legacy, but from EDH. So all right.
Alrighty, next one might be a
this
little
one-
harder then. I don't know if
This
it's
one,
seen
yeah,
any.
this one we don't need to discuss, right? This one's pretty straightforward. It goes in Sneak Attack. That's it.
Yeah, this one
But
goes in sneak attack and
Yeah.
It is,
similar.
I've also seen it see play in reanimator decks. Where they just
Okay,
reanimate
that-
this.
that makes sense,
you know,
yeah.
flip over
Alright, sure.
Atraxa or Gristlebrand or whatever.
Yeah, it's the same kind
Yeah,
of
same deal.
archetype of
It
like
is
get big
another creature
into
to cheat
play,
in.
Yeah.
To cheat in. Yep.
Notably horrible in multiples, but it is another creature that you can cheat.
Yeah,
in.
I think
That is
you
how
play
I won
exactly
that game
one
that
of-
Jordan watched by
Yeah.
them hitting a second Raph and Mikey.
That's
Ah.
fun.
And I
Yeah,
was like,
I think if you come here,
man,
I think
I should not
yeah, I
have won
think
this
if you
game.
play this, you play one.
Infinite punished.
Yeah. All right. Our next card, probably not going to be known to you from Commander fame, and to the community, it's not. It's much more known by it's a shorthand name that you can find it on Scryfall. But we have Wan Shi Tong Librarian.
Wan Shi Tong Librarian. Yes, I do know this one. X blue blue.
Okay.
It is a 1/1, gets +1/+1 counters equal to X, and you draw cards. I think it might be
Okay.
XX blue or something, but like I know when they search their library, you draw a card or something, or it gets a +1/+1 counter and you draw a card.
Yeah, it's predominantly
It's the
played.
librarian owl from
Close enough.
Avatar. Yeah.
It's predominantly played for the. You generally cast it for blue, although if you have some spare
Yeah,
mana,
and it
make
has
bigger.
flash too, right?
But I
Yeah,
believe
right.
Yep.
the ETB is you draw cards equal to half X rounded down. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. I couldn't remember if they gave it the double X treatment or if they gave it the
Hydrocrisis
That's what you were
treatment.
thinking of, though.
the Hydrocrisis treatment. Yeah.
But that's why you were
So-
thinking it might be XX blue.
Yep. I knew it was
that
half.
was.
I knew
screwing
it
you up.
wasn't like you just. Knew it wasn't just Mind Spring as
Yeah.
well.
Man,
That
Power
would
Creep
be-
Mind Spring.
Yeah. So like, I get that this. I know this card's a librarian because they shrunk the text on the card to fit more text.
Huh.
Whenever they do that, to me personally, I see that as a design fail.
Okay.
I'll be completely honest. Yeah, that to me, when you have to shrink the text to fit it in, I view that as a slight design fail because I feel like you're overcomplicating the cards, and it really drives the complexity of the game not up, but just to the side a bit.
Yeah.
But that's if you want some hot takes, here's some hot takes. I think
No, I
that
think reasonable. I think this card could have been blue. Get rid of all the X. This card would have been fine.
why give it flash? Then you don't need to change the text.
Oh
It's
no,
fine.
I do. I definitely wanted to give it flash.
Or just put
Okay,
flash flying vigilance on one
why does
line.
the flash need its own line? Just put it on the line below.
Yeah,
And then
I mean
you don't
that's
need to
just
change
their
the text size.
templating.
I don't know.
But I agree. I think that's just the way that they template
Look,
the
I got bad
keywords,
eyesight, so like I got bad eyesight, and like one of my friends is legally blind, and like I showed him a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I'm like, could you play this game? And he said no.
But,
So
oh,
like,
Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
but like when
That's the
you
thing,
when you're lessening the font sizes, it actually does affect people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it makes me like the reason I stopped playing limited is because of cards like this that are just walls of text and they're uncommon
Yeah,
too.
you're
It's just walls of
shuffling through
text,
your
I'm just like,
draft pack, and you're like, what the hell?
all right.
The
I had to
other
get
one
I had to
is-
get
is the
one.
double-sided cards.
I had to get
when
one.
you're drafting.
Yeah, I had to get one cards are too long rant out. So there it is.
Okay.
Is that
That'll
your
be
one
it
for
for
the
the stream.
evening?
That's my one for the evening. Yes.
That's fun
There's
for the evening.
like the ever running joke that if a card has more than 7 lines, Jordan will both not play it and not read it.
Yeah. Well, I might play it, but I won't read it.
I will simply eat the card.
Yeah. So yeah, this card is I know it from CEDH, but it is it seems very I don't know it seems good in control. I don't know what they're playing it in, but it seems good in control.
It's basically a one-up in a control deck.
It's just a good,
I
efficient
did
flash
it!
threat that grows.
Yep.
A good,
Yeah.
fair
Yeah.
creature that scales when you draw it late.
Yep. Sounds good. It seems a good one of in control.
Yeah.
Next card.
All right, you're doing a little better than I thought you would have. And next up, we have everyone's favorite dog, Felia Exuberant Shepherd.
Commander card, baby.
yeah.
One in a white dog. ETB.
Cat.
I forget if it flashes something on ETB. I know it flashes something on attack.
Do
If
you want
there's
to
more
lock in
text-
which way you
I'm
think
sure
it
there's
is?
more text. I don't know it. Yeah,
It blinks on attack, does not blink on ETB.
on attack. Yeah, I knew it was on attack. Yeah, blink, and then if it's under your control, it gets bigger. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Death and Taxes, baby. That's the only deck it
Yeah,
goes
this
in.
is the new definitely meta. Well, it's just the new sort of value generator over something like certainly over Flicker Wisp.
Is
but you can just generate value
pre-war
off of it.
Formaware? That's probably still in there too, right? So
Yeah, it's part of the Stoneforge package. It's another one of those where it's going to win the fair matchups if you play against any. But these
Right.
days there's a lot more blue and broken stuff going on that's not necessarily going to win. I mean, pre-war Formaware in 2016 Legacy would have been the most
Oh my
insane
God.
equipment of all time.
Pre-war back, my true name nemesis. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little when I saw pre-wear is good when you're grinding, but not so much otherwise. While talking about this card, Failure is good all the time because it just keeps blinking and blinking, and then it gets bigger and bigger. No, I like this card a lot in Death in Texas. I don't think it's getting played too much. I think it's getting played as like if it's getting played. Like I said, I don't know, and I purposefully did not inform myself prior to this for the fun of this game.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine it's like a 2 of, maybe 3 of.
It's also like a brewer's specialty. Like it's one of those
Yeah.
favorite cards for people who are brewing rogue decks because you can do all kinds of different stuff with it. An example of that would be, and we're going to get to it, but spoilers for later. The deck that Chris Cornwell has been playing recently online and doing quite well with in challenges that is like blue white tempo, and it's got 4 copies of Velia, and he's like I'm pretty sure he's the only person that I see playing this deck in the metagame at all, and he's
Chris
killing
being
with
the
it,
only
so.
person playing a deck, shocker.
So
I know. The funny thing is Chris has forever been like a Grim Monolith gamer, and now the Grim Monolith is in like some of the most popular, powerful decks in the format. Chris is like, no, that's too mainstream. I gotta go.
Exactly.
I
That's
gotta go
why.
play something
That's
else."
why.
But yeah, so as we said, Velia is seeing play in the blue white tempo decks. They were more popular before, but basically like Velia and Quantum Riddler are doing basically scamming it into play.
With the Stoneforge package and Meteor Sword. Felia Blinking Meteor Sword, blowing up lands.
I do
And
like
Oh, yeah,
I do
sweet.
like blowing things up with blinks. That's quite good. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up,
All right, next up, we dug into Decet's bag of cards we might play in a green black cradle. Coming
Okay.
from the Fallout set, we have Alpha Deathclaw.
So I've heard that I know this card is at least real because I've heard of it talked about. But I know it's black and green. It's probably like X black green or something. And it probably fights something on entry or something, who knows? But that's my guess.
Well, you're a little farther off on this one.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right.
Yeah, it's a little more just blows stuff up than fights things.
Yeah,
You were not gonna play this.
you just get a Vindicate on ETB.
You were not gonna play this. You fucking liar.
brother,
You
you
lied.
natural order it in.
No, there's no way.
I
would
bet
put
you
this in your
Decet
deck.
own you
Out
own a
of all
copy,
the-
right?
I have a search foil copy. Yes.
That you were not going to play this. Bullshit.
Natural. Yeah. Who needs Progenitus?
You would have played
Who
it
needs
in
Crater
a,
Hoof
You
Beam?
would have
Let's
played
do
it.
Alpha
Yeah,
Deathclaw.
exactly. Who needs Atraxa,
Just
right?
blow
Let's get
shit
this
up.
Alpha Deathclaw. You know, Atraxa sucks. Let's get Alpha Deathclaw.
So
instead.
Jordan,
Jesus Christ, there's no way.
we've kind of been like, at least me and like one or two other people have been like joking about between this or the big nasty Terrasti.
Yeah, Terastodon's better.
Okay.
At least that's a 9/9. Come on, man.
This can make
That
it be,
one I don't
this
need
can
the
be a
text for.
10-10 and blow
It's
two
a
things
10/10.
up.
Apparently, I do need the text for.
It's got Monstrosity 4,
Yeah.
and it triggers again on Monstrosity.
Yeah.
You get a Vindicate when it becomes monstrous.
Okay.
Cradle.
Also,
Cradle
Menace
mana.
Trample is also just like kind of stupid.
All right.
All right.
You weren't gonna play this. You put it in your deck for one league to say you tried it, and then moved on with your life. Next card.
All right, so next up, we have a card that's become ever increasingly more popular, even to the point where the what's the hot new Maverick deck has been playing.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Fucking.
Jordan been a little bit not around as much since MH3 came out. So Jordan, can you name us the text for Guide of Souls?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know this card did not get people slept on this one for a while. So I know it's a single white mana. I know it's a 1/1. I know it does something with energy, and it probably draws cards because it was in MH3. So I'm gonna guess
Fair
that.
guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that like when something enters, you get energy and like a life maybe, because it's like Soul Guide, maybe, and then maybe like you can spend energy to draw a card. Yeah. Let's do that. Something
Very,
like that. And
very
it's a 1/1.
close.
Very, very close.
When you attack. Yeah, like so all these energy cards they're always build up spend. So I knew it was build up spend, and then I figured based on souls that it was a soul guide. So or
Yeah.
a soul whatever, soul sister, that's the word.
Yeah. I'm going to take this moment
Not
to
bad. Not
turn
bad.
and stare and be like, Decent, what are you guys doing? Cradle Control has been including this recently.
For like a little bit, and then this week Newton was playing Hex Mage Dark Depths and moved off that. I didn't bother with that.
Okay.
But you know what?
So
I mean, with
gets
all these
flying
like
and
great, so
stays flying?
I did top 16 the challenge on Friday with this card in my Cradle deck.
Yeah, it gets a flying counter, Jordan. So the flying counter.
Yeah, so it stays flying. That's so it becomes
yeah.
a 3/4 angel. So realistically, you play this on turn 1, and then what? Turn 3, you're swinging in with the angel.
Something like
I mean, you could if you
Oh.
target the Guide of Souls, you might target something else. Notably, we just talked about a card, Philia, that
Oh,
makes
shit.
creatures re-enter the battlefield.
Yeah, I did not read the full
Yeah.
text.
You can target anything, so you can target, a lifelinking 1/1 or something, and now you've got
Or
lifelink
like-
as well.
a Vigilant White of the Reliquary that can grow.
Okay,
Right.
I mean, look, the Cradle deck has been slowing down and slowing down and slowing down, and I think this is the next natural inclusion until it's just Maverick. Next card.
Alrighty. I believe.
Editors know I'm
Decent
gonna
is breaking
fight
out in
Jordan.
hives.
Decent, tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
So, Decent, how close are we to putting Knight of Autumn, or not Knight of Autumn? Knight of the Reliquary in our deck.
Knight, it's terrible.
Hmm.
You have to tap to
We'll
activate
see.
Knight. You either attack with Knight or you activate Knight. White is 1 mana less, and you can do both.
Yeah, that's true.
All
Alright.
right, what's our next card?
Next up, coming out of the Spider-Man set.
Yeah, I don't. So I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't played in front, I didn't. There haven't been many sets where I did not look at a single spoiler card and just said, "Nah, man, I'm good."
All right.
Spider-Man was the first one.
We have Hide on the Ceiling.
It's probably real. It's probably blue, and it probably does something with evasion, based on the name. It's probably an enchantment.
Okay.
It's played in Legacy, so I'm gonna guess like 1
Is
in a
it?
blue or 2 in a blue, or if it's not played. Well, look, I don't know, man.
I lost this card the last week that I went to.
Yeah, that's. I have no idea what the text could be.
Sounds like a
Maybe
skill issue.
maybe it gives something flying. All right, now. Exile target artifacts and/or creature. Okay.
Yeah, you just blink X artifacts and/or creatures.
Notably, Blink Thassa's Oracle for a second trigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a way for them to beat consigns.
I hope this isn't being played in Legacy, but if so, I'm sure it's very good.
It's being played in Doomsday.
It's one of those cards, right?
It's one of those.
It's one of those weird, like, niche,
Yeah.
like dooms. It's played in a combo deck to solve a very specific problem.
Doomsday. Yep.
Also,
Okay,
the Wish board
sure.
out of some Omni decks because you can go Wish for it and blink out Hate Bears.
Yeah, with wishes, you can put a lot of hyper-specific cards in your deck, and this sure is one of those.
All right, and our final card of the night, because then we're going to loop around after that, we have Super Shredder.
I unfortunately know this is a card. It's. I don't know if it's real. If someone fucking like, if it's not real, you guys got me. I don't know where I saw it, but I think it's 3. I think it's 2 and a. It's probably black. 2 and a black. 3/2. No. This is Modern Magic. 3/3. Probably has like Menace or something. I'm sure it does. It probably like kills a turtle or something on attack or something. That's my guess. It kills a turtle.
Not quite.
Not
damn.
quite.
I got the Menace right though.
You did.
Oh,
You nailed the menace.
It's only
they're,
a
they're all
1/1.
about menace now.
it's only in 1/1.
So
Well, it
all
starts
right,
that
well,
way.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, this is a real card.
it,
Okay.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It
great.
was
Yeah,
the promo at the recent Spotlight series, if I remember
All
right.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes really well with the
Fetch
recently
lands.
printed Moon Shadow. who is also looking. It's like Moonshadow number 5.
It's funny because this got spoiled way before.
I'm sorry, Moonshadow.
Yeah.
From Lorwyn.
Yeah, no, I know the Moonshadow. I know. Yeah,
This card got spoiled well before Moonshadow did, and then it was one of the first cards we got from TMNT. We were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Immediately,
we were like, "This is a mythic.
This card's
what?
probably going to be totally broken." And then they gave us Moonshadow, and we were like, "Wait, but this is better." It's like
yeah. I
even
don't know
cheaper.
why. I don't know why this card's a mythic.
Because
I mean, it's nuts.
I mean, no, it's powerful. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, but it's just not. It's not. Sorry, I sometimes I let my knowledge of the design philosophy of Magic and my competitive
Oh, sure, yeah,
nature mix, and so like design philosophy, based on what they've said in the past, this should not be a mythic. But
Well,
anyway,
yeah. I mean, these days anything can be a mythic.
yeah.
I mean, my second thought on this card after immediately being like, "Oh yeah, that's probably going to be playable in Legacy." My second thought on this card was like, "How sweet would it be to build an entire commander deck with this as the commander?" Because like it's any permanent leaves the battlefield from anybody's. Like you could just build a mono black deck. Just my super shredder is just enormous.
I'll cast Blasphemic Edict.
They just made Voltron very easy.
Yeah. All right.
No,
So
they probably made it a mythic for limited balance is probably the actual reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's also probably. I mean,
People want
based on like because another consideration with these universes beyond sets is like the relevance to the storyline. So like if it's like a particularly powerful or famous villain or hero from a given story, it probably wants to be mythic just to feel important.
Yeah,
but
they do that.
Yeah. All right. So that's our segment on cards that Jordan doesn't know yet. And
I know
you
them
did
now.
know some of them. Yeah, you know them now.
Yeah.
No fake ones tonight. No fake.
I'm proud of myself for the Guide of Souls read.
Yeah, you also basically nailed Raph and Mikey. Like almost.
That's
almost
a red green
exactly.
card. They're all
Yeah. All right. So with that segment coming to a close, we're going to move into talking about what Legacy is in March 2026. So Legacy overall, we could take a look at the overall metagame that we can pull up what we've got. Of course, this data is mostly from online, but this is the best snapshot we can get. Overall, it's been pretty. I mean, overall, pretty healthy. I think we have Demir Tempo continues to be the king of the castle. Has been for a couple of years now. I think in various forms, some kind of blue-black tempo. And then we have a cut down to a tier with Ocelot Pride mid range.
Is that Mardu mid range?
It is, yeah. So it's okay. So this is the Guide of Souls. This is the preeminent Guide of Souls deck.
Yeah, let's take a look at this because this one is it's new to me, so it's probably new to many people.
Yeah. So this is of course Modern Masters or Modern Horizons heavy.
Yeah, Modern Horizons constructed
deck.
Yep.
Modern Horizons 3.
What the hell is that?
What?
Oh, that's Goblin Bombardment. Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what Goblin Bombardment is. Just did not know what that was.
These websites, unfortunately, they use like the most recent printing, and it's
they sure do
very ugly ones. At least we can tell what Wasteland is. At least it has nice big letters.
Yeah.
So okay, so here's the thing. I want to bring this up right up front, talking about this deck, Jordan, because I think we are old heads, and something I really miss from the older days of Legacy is when decks had really interesting and fun names. And this deck, I mean, the way that it's, I get that, like, you want to, for labeling, for database maintenance, you want a descriptive name for the deck. But I mean, that sucks. That's boring. So
I'm with you.
100%.
It's terrible for websites, but who cares?
Right. So we have Ocelot Pride and a Johnny, both cats make cat tokens. So we have cats, and then we also have an energy sub theme, right, with Guide of Souls and Amped Raptor and various other things. So the energy symbol, as we'll note, has a little thunderbolt on it. Why are we not calling this deck Thundercats?
Yeah, no, Thundercats is a much better name.
That's good.
So I was
there.
Yeah, Thundercats is actually no, that's the best name possible. So this deck is Thundercats, and Let's move on. So I really like about that deck is it looks like you see those color combinations and you're thinking like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, so they're gonna be doing like a Dead Gael esque death and taxes, but no, we're fighting. That's very much so fighting, and
yeah,
uh, you know, hold on one.
yeah. I think one of my favorite things about that deck is it's a Cabal Therapy deck. Well, sometimes it's a Cabal Therapy deck. I think they've been cutting Cabal Therapy for the resilience of the mana,
Oh, come on,
because
you got a
it,
cat that
I
sacks
know.
to make a dude, right? Like
Yeah, I
that's
know.
that's Cabal therapy.
But
I think
I've
people have
always
just lost the
yeah.
skill.
Cabal Therapy versus Brainstorm is one of my favorite gameplay interactions in the game Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, what are you
And
gonna do? Go down and not hold your force of will so then I can combo
right,
off? I mean,
yeah,
you're not comboing off though, so they do hide their force of
people
will,
have
but
seen me on the internet playing Magic the Gathering previously, where I have hit some insane Cabal therapies. I like blind therapy two ponders out of somebody's hand. It's like it's just a soul read. There's something to that, and there's something so rewarding about hitting the soul read. So like that, I love the therapy gameplay. It's my favorite card in Magic to play, and so seeing a deck that can play this card makes me very happy. Um, so we've seen this deck has put up some results in local metagames. So yeah, so we're having uh, so I think it's a good deck. It's been doing well recently, where it has kind of always been it's been more on the fringes of the metagame, and it looks like it's been picking up more recently with some evolution of the meta. I'm not sure if they have any new technology. Looking at the list, I don't think I see anything new here. It's just, oh, Hexing Squelcher, I suppose. Yeah, Hexing Squelcher, really broken magic card. So
yeah, that one I know. Oh boy, do I know Hexing Squelcher.
yeah,
Yeah, what a card. Oh my god. I'm not gonna play it in mono red, but I see other people are. And we can talk about that once we get there.
yeah. So
So Sneak and Show's making a comeback, and I think
yep,
a lot of the reason why Sneak and Show's been made a comeback is because they keep printing these creatures, right? Like,
right,
what am I gonna do? Not cheat in this thing that's gonna win me the game on the spot? Um, I mean, we
yeah,
see a lot of the old creatures still, but you know, the fact that I think Atraxa's printing really gave it the shot it needed because you can Atraxa and set up the next go.
yeah.
Um,
Atraxa
and
is just
yeah,
it's just the easy button for all these sort of like reanimator sneak and show decks that try to cheat a big creature into play. It's just yeah, you're starting that creature package with 4 Atraxa. It's just the best thing to be doing.
it is. It really is. And I think whenever you have a metagame slow down a bit, which
Hmm.
the we saw the first top two decks, what were they? Mid range.
Right.
So we can definitely say the metagame slowed down a bit. Um I would say that show and tell does really well in those metas historically
Yeah.
because it goes a little slower, but it has more uh you can ease off the gas, right?
Yeah.
You can go fast when you need to, but you can slow down, prepare with more counter magic against the mid range decks, and you really lock them in a place where there's nothing they can do except for you win.
Yeah.
And
And
so
this
I
yeah.
think that's why we're seeing whenever the metagame slows down, we're always going to see, I feel, an uptick in show and tell.
Yeah, and I think there's also two more recently printed cards that I think also really have kind of given a marginal improvement to the deck that has been significant enough to bump it up to like the second tier of the metagame. So Hexing Squelcher again
Yep.
is the card that's great here. We've seen historically the card that it's sort of vaguely referencing with its name, Hexing Shush or Vexing Shusher.
Vexing Shusher.
Um,
Put some
yeah,
respect on that
always
name.
always gotta
Mm-hmm.
mix them up. That used to be played in Sneak and Show. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
that played in the deck before to make spells uncounterable. We've also seen that deck play Beseiju, the original
Yep.
Beseiju that makes instants and sorceries uncounterable before.
Yep.
And so now we
Not
have
anymore.
Mesmerized Village,
Yep.
which allows us to get that effect on a land that can tap for blue mana. And the restriction is it comes in tapped if you don't unless you control a mountain or a forest. Pretty
Oh
easy to control
no.
a mountain in a deck that can fetch for for volcanic islands and thundering falls. So you have a couple of different ways of making these spells uncounterable in a little bit more, slightly more efficient way than we previously were able to, or maybe significantly more efficient
Yeah.
way than we were previously able to. And I think that's been enough to push this deck to the second tier of the metagame, to where we can really, against those counterspell heavy control decks, that or even just the tempo decks that have a way to kind of put early pressure, because those can really beat these decks up, because you can put early pressure on their life total with something like a Delver of Secrets or Dragonfrey Channeler,
Mhm.
and then their Ancient Tomb mana base becomes their enemy. Now you don't have, well, those decks can be trouble because they also have some
Of course.
permission, but you with these cards, Mistrized Village and Hexing Squelcher, you can kind of push through their counter magic to resolve your big fat monster, and then an Atraxa in play is like a good game to the Delver player, because it's just, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I've always loved about show and tell is you can really, against the aggro decks, you can still turn one show and tell, win the game, right?
Yeah,
So you'll always have a play versus them, and with like you said, with these new counterspell resistant cards, you're getting quite an edge game against the blue decks as well. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So the next deck in the metagame is Oops All Spells, which has kind of been crazy. That this has been
Yeah.
very surprisingly resilient. This is still hanging around. It popped up. Obviously, it got a huge boon when they
Hmm.
printed the spells, the spell front, the lands that are spells on the front.
They let
Um,
the oops all spells play not spells.
yeah, and of course with Modern Horizons 3, we got even more of those cards to make their mana even cleaner, to where they
Yeah.
had only a small selection of them, and now they have lots. We
They
have
just
the
have a
Bogart
normal mana
Trawlers
base
and
at this
stuff.
point.
Yeah, pretty close to it. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
painful for them, but yeah, I mean they are pretty strongly. We have Fel the Profane, Bogart Trawler, Agadeem's Awakening is one of the OGs, but you have so many just simply black sources available from these types of lands now, that you can play this like Poxwalkers, Narcomoeba, uh, you know. So
Yep.
it's a always it's been, Oopsal spells have been around for a very long time, but you used to have to work for this shit. You used to have to actually play like a whole bunch of like Lotus Petals and Dark Rituals, and like it was very like all in combo, and as a
Exactly.
result, like you might spike a small event, but on a longer event, you're just going to fall prey to variance. But they've been so resilient recently that
Hmm.
this is the list we're looking at right here. First place in a challenge, 7-2.
Yeah.
They're so much better now.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about oops all spells. It used to be this sort of all in, I mulligan or I die type plan, and you go off turn one or you don't win. And now, it's just a fair combo deck. It's or not a fair deck. It's a normal combo deck. It's not, it's not your turn one all in. And it's really interesting to have seen it evolve into what it is.
Hmm.
It's an absolute abomination of a Magic deck. Let's be completely first and foremost with that. This is a design. This is showing design mistakes in action.
Yeah,
However, I love that it exists.
yeah. This is like the old school like design mistakes in action, where it
Uh
was
huh.
like this is just some
Exactly. Exactly.
goofy shit. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So oops. Not a whole lot to say there. So
Painter.
yeah,
So it's
Painter has
it's
undergone something of
changed.
a change recently.
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's what we're starting to see. I mean, it's still in flux. I think this deck that we see here. I mean, this is not. It's
I
a
mean, we
fourth
see
place.
we see the welder, but there it is.
Yeah,
Surveillance cam.
there's Surveillance Cam. So there's your welder cam
Hmm.
combo, with Legion Extruder for the damage source. And this is a 5-0 league list. So there's some other variants as well that have cut some of the colors.
Yeah,
I think
it's
the
really
first one on
interesting.
Moxfield, or the first one on Goldfish right now, is this mono color, this mono brown, all artifacts painter servant deck,
Yeah,
and that's
I wonder when we just start getting rid of Painter, right? And we're just now a no grindstone. We're just value red blue um
I have
kind
seen
of
it bubbling
artifact
up.
deck,
Yeah, I have seen it.
It's where we're getting enough cards that ETB, enough artifacts that ETB and do enough crazy things that
Yeah, I mean, like
It's possible.
with the pinnacle, whatever the hell the thing is called from the artifacts deck, that makes a bunch of artifacts. That is like enough to combo out with Emery and Sewer Cam and a
Mhm.
Zero and like a Mox Opal,
Never mind.
or Welder and Sewer Cam, all kinds of stuff that can just combo out with these things, and so you can. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with it. And we talked about this earlier. So I think we're still trying to. I think the metagame is still sorting out what the best iteration of this deck is now.
Exactly. All right. It's Izzet Delver. Do we need
Yeah,
to talk about that one?
no,
It's
it's
Izzet
been here
Delver.
forever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still
it's
here.
Izzet Delver.
It's hanging around.
The Epic Storm. Do we need to talk about that one?
Also been here forever,
Has it
probably
has
about
it
as long
changed
as
recently?
Delver.
Not really. It has. They play Urza Saga, right? But that's about
Yeah, I
it.
mean they got Hexing Squelcher. They're
Sure.
playing
Yeah.
Runehorn
Yeah. Oh,
Hellkite now.
yeah. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big pickup for a Storm deck, actually.
Yeah,
That's pretty huge. Two, really. Wow. I would have thought 3 or 4. All right.
yeah,
There it is. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. I mean Brian
That's
continues doing his thing, and his crew of continue to innovate on that list, and it's
yeah.
playing different stuff all the time. And so it's just this is the most recent iteration of it. It's what it looks like now, and they seem to be having some success with it. It's hanging around in this sort of like third, fourth tier of the metagame.
Yeah, printing a card that says your cards can't be countered in a all-out I win deck is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's funny how like we used to have to play defense grid.
Right. Yeah.
Now we get Hexing Squelcher, same
Right.
mana cost,
Yeah.
and it attacks
And it attacks, and it has ward.
immediately.
Yeah. And so some more decks right after the Epic Storm. We actually have two red Stompy decks, and
Yeah.
it's just different flavors. Let's just pick your poison. You have Eldrazi and Red Stompy,
Yes.
and
So
so
there
both
are.
pretty similar, like built around soul lands, getting fast mana, and then playing some 3-4 mana spells.
Yeah, I
It's
will
just a matter
say
of which ones you want.
there's a pretty big difference between Eldrazi and Stompy, and the it's just the creature package.
Yeah,
And well, honestly, the lands are pretty different. Most of the cards are pretty different, but yes, the objective is the same.
yeah,
We are locking them out. We are swinging in with some big dudes.
yeah. I mean,
That's
it's
the
4x
objective.
Chalice, 4x Ancient Tomb kind of deck.
Yep.
Yeah,
The way we're locking them out is different. One is with Blood Moon, Trinisphere, Chalice. The other's with just Trinisphere, Chalice, Hand Disruption.
yeah,
But both are locking you out, and both are hitting you hard and fast.
yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah, the Eldrazi deck is much more the red Stompy deck has much more prison pieces. It has a lot of
yeah.
different ways to really screw up your opponent's game early in the game, whereas Eldrazi is just putting some big dumb idiots into play and turning them sideways.
Yes.
It's a deck near and dear to my heart.
Eldrazi's momentum is near escapable when you're playing it up against it. Every single turn, I feel like you're thinking, if the deck's running well, every single turn you're thinking of, oh god, what's next? And that's how I feel whenever I'm playing it. They thought seize me, and I'm like, all right, that wasn't too bad, but what's next?
Yeah,
you know, that was turn 2, and they thought seized me. What's on turn 3? Uh, so and I don't know. We can also I think one thing that's very impressive about this deck and is the fact that you have Fleshraker, right? You
yeah,
have the sort of fast finish from it that our first BCQ, the winner of it, Alex, he piloted Eldrazi aggro, and boy did Fleshraker Fleshrake. Oh, did he not? I- Oh my God!
yeah. What are you thinking of? Are you thinking of a
I
different tournament? He
Breaking
was
I'm
news:
thinking.
thinking of
Jordan
I'm thinking
lies
of a
to
different
us.
tournament.
You.
Embarrassing.
That's all right. Patchwork Automaton, basically. I think maybe you
Well,
were thinking of
anyway,
Pinnacle Emissary. Pinnacle Emissary is also a broken Magic the Gathering card.
maybe I'm thinking of Pinnacle Emissary.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, all right. Sorry, he used to play. It looks like he moved
Okay.
on from one Ancient Tomb deck to a different Ancient Tomb deck.
Yeah.
But Boyd is Fleshrake.
Yeah.
And
Sure does.
the addition of that card changed this deck forever, and it's terrifying. If there's one card that scares me more than any other card in Eldrazi, it's Fleshraker.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So
That's all I gotta say
absolutely.
about that.
I think
If
I think
that
it's
card
worth.
ever goes down to less than 4, you're building your deck wrong.
So after these decks, we kind of drop down to this sort of big.
Yeah,
Uh, we have Beans Control. We have Red Green Lands somehow still being played in 2026. Doomsday, Mystic Forge combo, Affinity Stompy, which is what we just saw Alex
well,
Knopf playing. We have Death and
Jameson, you know
Taxes,
better than me
Alurin.
that there's some people, they're never unsleeving their tabernacles ever.
Right.
They're holding on to their lands deck until it crumbles into dust. Okay,
Yeah.
we got some of them in the chat with us tonight.
Yeah. So so there. This is kind of going to the legacy metagame is overall not doing too badly in terms of balanced archetypes. I think
No, I think it's very good.
yeah. Now, I think there's also a bit of a disconnect where some folks feel like the gameplay is not really interesting or fun or entertaining, and so they have kind of disconnected from the metagame from the format a little bit. I think that's a lot more of the old heads and so sort of the Modern Horizons
Mm,
metagame. But in terms of like actual competitive balance on what archetype you choose to play, there's a lot of different options that you have available to you, and so you can even go sleeve up oops all spells and have a realistic shot at winning a tournament, and you
you
can spend
can.
$1,000 on a legacy deck,
Yeah,
which is an excellent.
great.
The downside, of course, is that you're almost all of those cards are only playable in oops all spells, so
That
you're
is
not going to
correct.
get a lot of cross applicability. But yeah, you could build oops, for a
Yeah,
couple $100.
I really think that this is an eternal format, and that means it's forever. And in order to go on forever, guess what? You gotta keep playing with the new cards. So
Yeah.
there's a format for the people who left Legacy, and they're currently playing it. It's called Pre-Modern, and I hope they're
Uh-huh.
having a grand old time.
Yeah, Pure Modern's great.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's our online meta. It's just sort of very briefly the overall sort of overview of what all the archetypes are, how they're all doing in the
yeah,
metagame right now. We want to highlight a couple of recent events in particular. So some of the challenges that recently happened. So the most recent one, I believe, on Goldfish Legacy Challenge from March 22nd. Yeah, this is the one. Chris McNasty, our illustrious Chris Cornwell,
boy is he.
playing that blue-white tempo deck that I mentioned earlier, with Felia, Exuberant Shepherd, got cameos in there, Quantum Riddlers, doing
The
all
one
kinds of
of
broken
I
stuff.
love the one of Snapcaster
Oh
Mage.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's good when it's good. It's
It's
real
yeah,
good.
yeah, 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 yeah. Swords to
um,
Plowshares. Blink my snap. Swords to Plowshares.
yeah. Also worth noting, 4x Stifle and 2 Consign to Memory in the main deck, because of how good countering triggered abilities is right now.
Yeah,
And
there's a
you
lot
know,
of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a deck that Chris has been having some success with in the window that we're kind of looking at. Actually, the first challenge on the 14th, he also got second with the same deck.
It's a bit of a
So
counter meta deck, isn't it?
yeah,
Like
and
because
again,
it's
he's
really attacking the triggered abilities and with stifles and things like that.
yeah. So sorry, I sprung that on our producer here, so he's struggling to get that back up. But that is basically the same deck, and so this is and again, as far as I can tell, he's really the only person really running this deck out there, and he's having some success with it. So I'm a little surprised that it hasn't picked up a little bit more popularity, because based on the success he's having with it.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are a little scared to be running that many stifles.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I guess.
it's
I love Stifle.
yeah, I know. You were a rug player back in the day a little bit.
I played him in Grixis. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Oh,
The
they
one
well
the
they
one
were they
quest
were
for
great
power
in
I
that
topped
deck.
8. Yeah,
They
the
were
one quest for
great in
power I
that deck.
topped, I was a Stifle Delver list, and I stifled many a fetch and wasteland.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see him playing what is basically the spiritual successor to that deck, and having some fun with it. Chris is constantly playing Magic. That dude's always out there.
Yep. And we also have Silent Goat, who is Dan, who
Yeah,
who been doing well with Wastelands in Mono Red Prison. Me and him
yeah.
have talked about this, and I've understood why he did it. I don't agree, but I understand. Um, the idea is that without you don't play blood. He's not playing Blood Moon, notably.
Yeah.
He's instead playing Magus in the board.
Okay.
And the idea is we play Hexing Squelcher main,
Okay.
and we don't let them counter our stuff, and we wasteland them when it's opportune for us. So we get an early threat and wasteland them.
Okay. We play like a Delver deck.
We play like exactly. We play like a
Okay.
Delver deck. With lock pieces. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The reason why I disagree with it is, come on, we're blood mooning them. What are you
Right.
talking about? It's 4 wastelands in one card. Blood moon.
Right.
So that was my basic approach to him. He's like, well, but then they destroy the blood moon and then their mana base is up online. I'm like, that's what second blood moon's for. That's why we play 8 of them in the 75. So me and him often don't see eye to eye with these lists. But hey, look, who's doing well on MTGO and who's just sitting here?
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that I also this was the last time I played the Blue Artifacts deck. It was still called 8-cast, and it was right around the time Bowmasters got printed, which was the last time it was viable as 8-cast. And I recognized that because it's the same set, they printed the One Ring, and I was like, this artifact is actually insane because in this deck specifically, because if this is like the way that these decks are structured, including 8-cast, or at the time 8-cast, what is now like Blue Artifacts, the way that these decks are sort of structured is that they will go like kind of all in. They sort of have to have like the first haymaker, and then if that resolves, then they're in great shape for the game. And if it doesn't resolve or it gets removed, then they have to have the second wind. They have to have the other fist has to come across the face, and if they don't have that second punch, you're just going to lose the game. And so like that first blood moon, it's like, oh yeah, if this is good and it resolves, I'm probably winning this game.
yeah.
If it's good and it resolves and they remove or they counter it or remove it, then my next turn I have to do something else because and so that follow up is equally as important to winning the game. And the One Ring was sort of like, yeah, I mean this card just like wins me the game if I get it. I can get this turn 1 or turn 2 or whenever, and then I'm just gonna draw infinite cards for the rest of the game, and I'm gonna be able to have infinite fuel to cast giant turtles and do all kinds of dumb stuff. And I just sort of started going, why am I not playing this with voltaic keys? And I'm like, this deck just doesn't make sense as it's constructed anymore. It should be built around the One Ring, and this deck I see is very similar to where you're doing Chalice on 1 or Fable on 1 or the One Ring. So you want the One Ring is very helpful there. Hexing Squelcher is a really powerful effect to have in a deck like that because
it is
one of the best ways for especially for the One Ring, right? The One Ring is going to put you in a really good spot, really big advantage, and give you a really big advantage in a game. And so if you can force that to resolve, now it's an indestructible 4-mana artifact. I mean, you're going to spend 4 mana on a prismatic ending to get rid of it if you even have it that many colors to spend.
Yeah, so I'm actually a holdout on the Hexing Squelcher still.
Yeah.
For the sole reason of it's 1 in a red and it's awkward to cast. However, I still need to test with it. Haven't tested with it, and once I test with it, I'll know more. I've always found that they use so many of their counter. You have to lead with Hexing Squelcher is the problem, right?
Sure.
And so I find that they end up using so many of their counter spells on my turn 1 Blood Moon, turn 2 whatever, that by the time I play the One Ring, they don't have any left anymore.
Yeah.
So
although I will say also in Squelcher's favor here is that it also gives your other creatures ward 2. And this has a lot of creatures.
Yeah, ward 2, pay 2 life. Yeah.
And so ward pay 2 life, right? That's what I was thinking of. So
it's
that's
against mono red.
I would say,
that's very good. Yeah.
If you want to talk about it in this way, right? So Hexing Squelcher costs 1 in a red. That is awkward. If Hexing Squelcher costs 2 in a red, would you still play it in mono red?
No.
You don't think so?
But yeah, no. That's good point. I do like though.
Like I would
now that I'm
like,
thinking
would you
about
be willing to pay 2 in a red? I think you might be willing to pay 2 in a red for that effect. And then you're just kind of mana burning for 1, and you're like, okay.
Look, I got some things to think about off stream now. Okay, it's a good point. But yeah. No, I'm definitely interested in the card. Interested to see how it goes. Haste. If you put haste on a card, I'm immediately interested, and I believe that card has haste. So, all right, let's go back to our BCQ top 8.
Yeah, so we'll talk about
from the prior one.
speaking of things, Mono Blue artifacts and stoppy
Mm-hmm.
decks. So our BCQ top 8, our winner was Alex Knopf. This is also a 2-slot qualifier so second place was Alex Kenley on Eldrazi Stompy. So two
That's what I was
Stompy
talking
decks.
about.
And okay, that probably makes sense then. So 2 Alexes. Yeah,
Two
really threw you
Alexes.
off. Both with a K. Yeah, both last name with a K. 2 Alex Ks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you were just set up for failure there. So
Uh-huh.
2 Stompy decks though, different approaches for sure, but that is the early returns on the DMV metagame. Is our first 2, well, outside of uh, Nathan Stoyer, who won our last invitational, our first 2 qualified for the next invitational are Alex Knopf and Alex Kemley on these Stompy decks.
Yeah, so it's one thing I really like, and I mean this shows a pretty healthy metagame, right?
Mhm.
One thing I really like about the mid-range heavy metagames, which there are, is you get to play a lot of Magic.
Yeah,
And I don't mean that, and I don't even mean long games, right? Like there's not these like really long control mirror games where you're going to time. You're just playing Magic, and the game ends pretty quick still.
yeah,
It doesn't go back and forth for too long with these heavy finishers. And what I really like seeing is you have the mid range, and then you have the stompy decks trying to kind of cut under those a little bit to be slightly faster.
yeah.
And then you have the control decks going slightly over, which we're not really seeing because the stompy decks beat up the control decks.
Right.
So because of the how pushed creatures have become recently, I think that's why we're seeing less and less control decks as time goes on, as the stompy decks are really pushing them out of the metagame. And then we then combo is of course slightly weak to stompy, but pretty good against mid range. And then we have Delver. Delver crushes combo. So
Right.
and that's the cycle that has been going on for, well, since we were playing, except with much less control now and more stompy.
Yeah. So I find this top 8 also like really fascinating because we have 2 Delver decks. We have Blue Red Delver and Blue Red Corey Steelcutter, but outside of that, there's no blue tempo or control lists. It's mono blue artifacts,
Delicious.
Eldrazi Stompy, Death and Taxes, Mole Elves, Oops All Spells, and Mardu and Thundercats. So you know,
Yeah,
I don't laugh at me, producers. I'm calling it that. It's a great name, and
it's a
I'm
great
going to
name.
stick with it for
I'm
the
with you.
whole
I'm with you.
rest of time. So I'm sure you are. It doesn't matter to me. Producers are telling me they're muted. I know that they are. I don't care. Thundercats. They're called Thundercats now. So that is cool because I mean like we just look at the overall metagame, and the top deck is Blueback Tempo with featuring Orcish Bowmasters, and then in this top 8, 0 copies of Blueback Tempo.
Yeah, it's I once dreamed of a world where blue wouldn't be dominant in Legacy, and now I see what we had to cross to get there. Was it
Yeah.
worth it? No, but here we are.
So
uh,
yeah, I mean, but also very cool. Only the 2 Blue Red Delver lists. I mean, they are different sort of flavors of the Blue
yeah,
Red Tempo, with one of them playing 2 Corey Steel Cutter, and then I think the other one's playing 4. Yeah.
I think
So
this
they're
is
slightly different. This is just Dragon's Rage Channeler, Murktide Regent, and this one has Delver of Secrets. So the Corey Steel Cutter the Blue Red Corey deck does not have Delvers at all. It is much more of it's sort of like a few years ago when Blue Red Delver was all over the place with EI. And then they came out with that deck that was sort of like cut the Delvers and tried to be a little bit more mid-range with like Ledger Shredder and stuff.
yeah.
Sort of same thing here with where it's heavy on Corey Steel Cutter. It's cutting the cheap threats and just using Dragon's Rage Channeler as a card filtering engine and good tempo threat. But the rest of it
Yeah,
is
that's
we got
wild.
Boomerang basics in there,
One Murktide.
Storm Chasers talent.
So this is
And
this is
yeah,
doing a whole different tempo thing. What Storm?
yeah,
Hold on, Storm Chaser's talent, please.
okay.
If I don't know it, other people don't either. Let's be real.
Oh, this should be your favorite card because it makes an
It
otter.
makes an otter. Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. Sure.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
makes a 1/1 with
One
blue
otter,
red
and
otter
then
with
you might
prowess. Yeah.
activate it. All right. Cool.
Yeah, it does like a Snapcaster imitation, but also worth noting because it makes an otter on ETB, you can boomerang basics
Yep,
this.
you can boomerang basics
So
it.
it's like a once upon or this town ain't big enough sort of style thing
Yeah,
where
it's
you can
so
bounce it.
the one Murktide tells me that this is a extremely low to the ground deck, right? We're
Yeah,
trying to go in, we're going hard, we're going fast, and that's pretty cool for Delver to kind of take that approach. And
yeah,
I think in this heavy mid range metagame, you might have to get under these mid range decks.
yeah. So I also really like that like boomerang basics also right because if we're boomerang base we're casting boomerang basics and
Yeah,
bouncing
yeah,
our
and we
online
draw a card.
permanents.
Yeah.
We're doing that right, and then we're also getting to replay that card. So if it's like
Yep.
a Mishra's Bauble, we can replay that, and then we're triggering Corey Steel Cutter,
Yep.
and
And
we
we
can
plus
replay
one.
Storm Chaser's talent, and that's triggering Dragon's Rage Channeler. And we're doing so like the Boomerang Basics really works really well as like sort of an engine, a value engine for this deck, while also being like in a pinch. Yeah, let me bounce this, whatever the hell out of here.
Yeah, you will just bounce their Trinisphere or whatever and continue playing.
Yeah.
Um, so I,
So
I I really like I really like it. I like this style of deck. This is very interesting to prowess aggro player Jordan. So
yeah, so Kate with a very cool list. I know that we have had some folks working on that recently. I remember Jarvis was talking about how he was experimenting with this as well, a few months ago. So yeah, so this is really like 8 different decks, honestly.
so
Uh,
the let's go back to the start of the show a bit where we said no changes, right?
yeah,
Why did we see the no changes? And well, it's a healthy metagame. That's what I think, at least. For
yeah,
me, the health of a metagame it has always been defined by how much can I brew.
right,
And I feel like you can brew a lot right now. I mean, look at these
yeah,
decks. There,
a lot of room
there,
for
there.
innovation.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of room for innovation right now, and to me, that's a healthy metagame. It's an interesting metagame. I do think a lot of the reason why there's a lot of room for innovation is because of the sheer quantity of cards that are being produced.
hmm,
Um, is that a bad thing? I don't know. It's keeping it interesting, that's for sure.
yeah,
And we're not having bannings because we're not getting a solved meta as fast. So I think the metagame's in a very healthy state. I think you can brew, and it makes me really excited to play our next BCQ on
yeah.
Saturday.
So, and it's going to make for great content throughout the season as we kind of talk about all the different stuff that's coming up out of this metagame. And this is Brewer's Paradise right here. Like this is where this is the crucible where these decks can prove themselves. As we mentioned, some of the brews that locals are coming up with are doing really well at online challenges. So taking a look at our calendar here, which we have up on the screen. So our next BCQ is going to be at Level Up Games on the
Yep,
28th.
I plan on being there.
Excellent. That's in Glen Burnie, Maryland. And then after that, we have another event at Paradise on the 4th
Going
of
back to
April.
Paradise.
Yep. And so those 2 events will happen between now and our next Beltway Report stream. So we'll be able to talk about both of those events next time we're on here. And hopefully we will see a lot of you out there at those BCQs grinding them out. Now, remember that this season, per the patch notes, if you didn't watch that video, go back and watch it. There are going to be fewer BCQs this season to try to kind of cut down on a little bit of the sort of burnout that folks are feeling from last season. So these opportunities to qualify for the Invitational are a little bit fewer and far between and a little bit more exclusive than they were last year. So make sure that you are taking advantage of every opportunity you do get to get out there and try your hand at qualifying.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the announcement yet, QCon for the first time is coming to the East Coast, and I am extremely excited about this.
Yeah.
We are at the DMV Legacy League. We are partners with CubeCon, and I mean, I have been wanting to go to CubeCon forever, but my schedule has never aligned, and now it's really easy to.
Yeah.
And so I will be there, whether I'm playing or behind a booth. Probably behind a booth, but I will be there, and I am looking forward to seeing a lot of people there because it is CubeCon is one of the goated events in the Midwest for a reason, and I'm sure it's going to be just as insane on the East Coast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is an event that came together because of the wonderful people that we know that help to organize these events, the wonderful people we know at CubeCon with NYC Pauper League, including Jen, who has been on a DMV Legacy League stream in the past. They're wonderful. So we're working this all out. You can see it's going to be the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel Baltimore North. And a room block will be coming soon, so stay tuned to that. Now, if you stay tuned to our website, you will see all kinds of information. So dmvlegacyleague.com, and yep, that's our homepage there. You can find
It's
all
a good
this
looking
stuff. So you
website.
can. This is what we've been. I know. It's incredible. So we have first we have the leaderboards. So that was like kind of the primary impetus for us making this website was to
Don't
have
look at my name.
leaderboards for people to track, so you can track your points throughout the season. And we have, of course, like race mode for when you're trying to qualify for the at-large invites for the invitational, and that'll become
Ooh.
relevant in a few months as we get closer to it. And so, yeah, you can take a look at that. And of course, we had the leaderboards breakdown by store as well, if you want to see where you place on a given store's leaderboard. And you also can check out the deck lists from recent events. So that's where we kind of accessed. You can see the top 8 there from the Beltway Cup Qualifier 2 slot at Paradise. There's your top 8 lists. So you can see all of those. So who needs goldfish? We've got our own website. There's an events calendar which we just looked at, so you can keep up to date on all the upcoming events. That's in the where to play section actually. So the events is going to be our major events. So that's where the CubeCon information is right now. That's also going to be where our invitational information is posted. You'll see banners announcing that stuff as well. So take a look at that. We do have a Google Calendar with the events on it, so you can subscribe to that and add it to your own Google Calendar and get reminded of when BCQs and weeklies are happening. So take a look at that stuff and yeah, check it all out. And the website is a great resource for kind of consolidating all the information about the league. There's also links to our socials, including our Discord. So if you want to hop in the Discord and chat with other folks in the league and potentially league admins, if you have questions about stuff that's going on, you can do that. You can follow us, all of our socials there. All consolidated in a nice, neat place, and we put a lot of work into. Well, a couple of folks. I don't want to take any credit for the work that other people have done, but they've put a lot of really high grade work into this website, and it looks awesome, and it's super proud of what it is.
All right. I think that does it here for the Beltway report.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
I think that's gonna call it for us for the
Jameson,
evening. We talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
If people want to find you in other places on the internet, where can they do that?
Find me? Nowhere.
Find you.
Don't try. I am a Magic Twitter retiree, as we discussed earlier.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought you were getting yourself plugged, right? Nah. No self plugs here.
My username on most platforms is like the _whiskey. I do have most of those accounts still exist. They're mostly private. I don't post on any of them. I don't have the apps installed on my phone. I stay off of social media. But you can find me here. You can find me on Discord if you jump in the Discord.
If you want to talk to me, reaching out to me on the DMV Legacy League Discord is your best bet.
That's the best place to find me.
That's actually the best place to find me. Yep.
Yeah. Tag me in the DMV Legacy League server.
Yeah,
and,
just at me. I'm over posting into the void and the void staring back. I like one-on-one communication nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's how it's real. Yeah.
Yeah. So if y'all want to get in touch with us or anybody else in the league, hop into the Discord and join us, and hopefully we'll see you at the next event, and we certainly will see you in 2 weeks for the next Beltway report. But that's going to do it for us here for this week. So we'll see you next time.